Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast with your host, Chris. I am that guy. Welcome, everybody. It's been a crazy couple of weeks so far, but yeah, which is good. I like it crazy. Before I get into my guest for episode number 143, I touched on it last episode, but I'd like to talk about it a little bit more. My GoFundMe page is up, and it's for a new short film that I want to do, and I just need a little bit of help financially with the project. It's something that I wrote in the span of a night, and I have my actors interested in doing it. I'm going to start looking at locations here soon. So I just need some help, and that's why I started up this GoFundMe page. So if you're interested in contributing, click on the link, or if you can't but you'd like to share it out, please do so. I'd be very ecstatic. And yeah, so everyone go do that, and yeah. And 5-4 Club, join it. There we go. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I guess I should get into my guest for today. My guest is the very lovely Marni Kinrys, and she is a guy whisperer. She whispers to guys. No, she actually is very good. She's a wingman, a lady wingman for all the gentlemen out there who, or you know what, for me, I don't understand women. I have questions, and she helps answer those questions. So I had a very, very good chat with her, and I absolutely have to have her back on. But before that, let's get into this episode. All right, guys, sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please. How are you doing, Marni?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am excited. I am pumped. And yeah.
That's good for a Friday. You're so good and pumped.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why. I'm just, I guess I got good sleep.
I got good sleep last night, too.
Okay, so let me...
rare.
Okay, so what's your sleep pattern like? What time you going to bed? What time you waking up?
Oh, my God. Okay, you're going to think I'm pathetic, but my sleep pattern is like 9:30. I go into my bedroom, and then I typically fall asleep by 10. And then I'm up at 2:30-ish, and then I'm up till 5, and then I go back to sleep till about 6:30.
Okay. Now, why is there that chunk that you wake up? Are you doing emails or reading or like?
No, nothing. No. I just do. I don't know why it happened. I try all these different things to not wake up during that time period, and I just do. I don't know.
No, I understand that, because sometimes when I go to sleep, like around 8, between 8 and probably 10, I do find myself waking up at the middle of the night, and I'll just...
Yeah, I know. It's circadian rhythm stuff, right?
Right. So now what I do is I go to sleep later at night. So I'll go to sleep at like midnight, or since I'm not working right now, sometimes I'll go to bed at 3 a.m. because it's like, who cares?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What time do you wake up the next day?
I wake up around 8.
3 till 8? That's not good sleep.
Well, I don't need that much sleep.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you say you had a good sleep last night, does that mean you had like 4 hours and you're totally refreshed and new now?
Last night I went to bed around 1 or 2.
Okay.
And then I did sleep until 10 today.
Oh, wow. That's a good sleep.
Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good. Also, I haven't been, because normally during my days I lounge around. Today I'm not lounging around. I'm just kind of up and wandering around.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not
It
feeling
makes a
lazy
difference.
today. Yeah,
Yeah. When you have things to do, it makes you feel better. I get that.
exactly. I am very excited to chat with you,
Oh,
and
thank you. I'm excited to chat with you too.
it's because when I heard what you do and the idea of asking women, being able to talk to women, stuff, even picking up all that stuff fascinates me.
Okay.
Uh,
Good.
your career no, it's. I remember the one time where it really hit me. I was out with a bunch of friends of mine, and it was a bunch of guys, and then some my lady friends, and they're very beautiful ladies. We went out karaokeing, clubbing, all that good stuff. But there was one thing that happened in the night when one of my friends was getting hit on very hard, like, and I could have watched him try to hit on my friend for at least 2 hours, just because
Right.
it was so fascinating to me because I've never been around that. No
Right.
no ladies hit on me for 2 hours, so I was like, and it wasn't the fact that he was trying. It's just that he didn't get the hint to walk away.
Right.
That's the thing that I was more interested about. Like, this guy's not giving up.
You're like,
He's
how is he getting punched so many times and still going back for more? What is wrong with him?
exactly, and so that's
Yeah.
what really got me interested in the whole, um, pickup lines, meeting people, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm excited to chat with you.
Okay, well, that's cool. I love that it interests you because it fascinates me as well. It still does. I've been doing this for 13 years, and it still intrigues me. Like when I watch television shows, I'm always watching, and yes, it's scripted. I understand that, but I'm
Yeah.
always watching for like little nuances and things that people are saying because it is based on real life or like what we'd like to believe is real life. So interactions just fascinate me. When I'm out in public, I'll always be like, okay, what's going on with those people over there? How long have they been dating for? Does he notice that she's doing this? Does he notice that she's doing that? Like it still piques my interest, even though I've been doing it for so long.
Well, yeah, exactly. And see, I think part of the reason why is because my parents raised me in a very I guess manner driven way.
Right.
Holding the door open, bless you, all that stuff, saying thank you. I do all of that, and
But that's wonderful.
yes, and I'm grateful for it. And then when I was going to school, my friends weren't very female oriented. They weren't like, yeah, chicks, dude, chicks. They were just,
Right.
hey, you want to hang out and play video games or go see a movie?
Right.
So that's why I've just never been that guy. Just to like, so that's why it all fascinates me. And one thing I want to ask you is, well, I have many things I want to ask you, but when did you kind of get into this mode of, maybe I can start helping people with this?
Well, it actually started about 13 years ago
Mm-hmm.
when I was at a singles mixer at a rabbi's house. That's where most businesses start,
Oh,
right?
of course, of course.
And yeah, and nobody was talking to each other, and they weren't interacting, and it was sort of defeating the purpose of a singles mixer. And actually, I had just met my now husband
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks earlier, so I was there for window shopping, but not really heavily interested in whatever could come from this event.
Right.
And and I was like, why is this happening? Nobody's talking to each other. And like I started watching everybody's body language and I was like, oh, screw this. I'm going to help them out. So I literally started grabbing guys and pulling them towards women, and I would like facilitate a conversation. I would start the conversation. I would help the guy out. I would pretend that I knew him or something, like whatever I felt was needed in that interaction. And then I would leave them if it was going good. Help the guy get more comfortable, help the girl get more comfortable, and then leave when it was in a good place. And I did that with lots of people there. And then by the end, I was like, pretty proud of myself. And when I went home, I said to my roommate, who was a dude, I said, I want to do this for a living. I think that men need this help. I think they need women to help them with women because they don't understand anything. And he's like, there's no way that men are going to want assistance from a woman to tell them like what women want or help them with girls. Men are totally going to reject this idea. And I was like, I don't think you're right. So I went into his bedroom and I posted an ad on Craigslist that said something, I wish I still had the ad, but it was something like, what better way than to attract bees than with honey? Sit back and relax. I'll do the dirty work for you. I'm going to be your wing girl and tell you everything that women want. And by the next morning, I had close to 75 responses. So that meant that people were interested and there was something there. I didn't fully know what, but I just started. I just started going out with guys as a wing girl and helping them. And when I would go out with them, I would start to find that they really had way more questions and really didn't want as much help with the physical actions. They really wanted to understand what they were seeing and why women did the things that they did and what the things that they said actually meant. So I started, going home and creating curriculum and programs and writing down these things that they were so confused about. And then I started to realize, like 6 months afterwards, that any man that actually needs a woman to help him pick up women, like in public, isn't really much of a man. So I should teach men how to do this themselves. And that's when the wing girl method was born, and I started learning more about, how to approach, how to talk to women, and that's where my research came from, and that's where my programs have come from that place.
Okay, and it really does help, just because when I think about it, it's like, oh, am I going to ask a guy how to pick up girl? No, you go to the lady because that's who you're trying to.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Because I will say there are great men out there who teach awesome things.
That's true.
And there are a lot of women who don't know what they actually want, or they don't say what they actually want. And a lot of their advice can get extremely confusing. Not that I'm trying to knock women down or anything, but a lot of guys you can learn from. By emulating, by figuring out how they think about things, by taking some of the theories that they're putting into practice. A lot of men know a lot of things about women, more so than women do. And so you can definitely learn from men. But I give the access to that 5% of information that men do not and will never have access to. So I agree with you, but I also disagree with you.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I've just always been I don't know. Ever since starting doing this show, I was a bit more the quiet person, and in some cases I still am. But since I have to talk to so many people, I feel way more comfortable now chatting with total strangers, even at a bar or whatever. And I love honesty. That's what I love, and I feel like there should be more of that in the world.
I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah, especially with the ladies.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, in everything, because that's the majority of what I end up teaching. It's cut out the fluff and just say what it is that you want.
Right.
Instead of trying to protect yourself or be subtle or tippy-toe around it, just be honest. That's the most simplest thing to do. I had a coaching call today with this one guy. And he goes on and on and on about this story and giving me all these details. And I interrupted him at some point and I said, "What? Forget about all these things. What do you want?" And he said, "Well, I want to get together with her and see if I still have feelings for her." And I said, "Then that's what you communicate.
Right.
That all this other stuff is not needed, and you're trying to keep yourself safe and protected and sidestep the truth. The truth is not so horrible. The truth is kind of great. You're not saying I'm in love with you. You're not saying I hate you. You don't know. You just want to see her and see how you feel better. So make that happen."
Yes.
So just getting to the honesty of what you want is so essential and not done enough.
Yes. And now let me ask you something. So when I was interested in dating, when I was younger, one of the tips I got was constant eye contact. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, it depends how it's done. So constant eye contact, I think eye contact is important, and the fact that you could show you can make eye contact is important. it depends what you're trying to do.
Okay.
But I would say overall, I don't think constant eye contact is a great thing, but I have to see how you're actually doing it.
Okay.
Constant eye contact kind of creeps me out sometimes, to be honest.
And
but I like if you're trying to build attraction, I would say eye contact is great, but wandering eyes are also very nice. Not heavily wandering, but ones that do look away and can easily be distracted because it means that you haven't gotten that person fully yet. I'm not saying to do that as a tactic, but I'm just saying that that's something that shows value.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that. And also, speaking for myself and a lot of other my friends, friend zone. What?
Yes.
Okay, so any tips that to help out the guys get out of that friend zone? I mean, I've been friend zoned plenty of times.
Yeah, stop putting yourself in it.
Okay.
In the first place, don't if you want to date a girl or sleep with a girl, stop acting so damn friendly. Like put your intentions out there. Be sexual, like not being overly sexual,
right.
But you're allowed to put your sexual intent out there. You're allowed to touch a woman. You're allowed to make eye contact. You're allowed to maneuver your voice in a certain way that may come across as like more direct and sexual. You're allowed to do all of these things. So if you want to stop being in the friend zone, stop being so damn friendly, because the only person who puts you in the friend zone is you. Gotcha. And it's very easy to get out of.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. I am one of those people that's overly friendly. Because, I don't know, I just like being friendly just because, especially when it's towards women. This is how I figure. Is that I know whenever I'm going to go out and there's a woman there, I know she's going to get hit on like a million times. Of course, that's exaggeration. So I'm just like, well, I don't want to be the guy to hit on her. And then
why not?
Because I just always figure, she's getting hit on by a bunch of guys.
Well, she's not getting hit on by you. She's by somebody who also is kind and awesome and has a kind heart and is a gentleman. Well, why cover up what you want?
I don't see in my.
I think you're a great martyr. You're doing wonderful things for women that you don't know.
Right.
But you're also taking away from a woman, right? Because she's missing out on knowing what your intention is and feeling attraction towards you. That's not good for her. So you're not really looking out for the woman. You're looking out to protect yourself.
Gotcha. Okay. I like this. Now, man, if only I knew that when I wasn't single. But I'm taken right now, so I'm completely fine. I'm fine.
Perfect.
So it worked eventually. Ugh.
That's amazing.
It just took 2 years, but it's fine.
Okay, but I do want you to know that even in a relationship, you gotta still use these things.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing that I want to touch on. So you get into a relationship and you get comfortable with the person, and there always comes this point where you become too comfortable and you take the person for granted. What are some of the things that, either spice up or, make sure you don't go down that path of taking the other person for granted?
Well, just keeping the acknowledgement of it, that it's a potential possibility, and putting in at least half an hour of an effort every single day to keep things fun and interesting and challenging and different. Right? So a lot of people can get into, it's very easy to get into static routines, especially when you throw in stressful lives, work, children, like all of those things take away from the spontaneity of what can add to a relationship. But I think that the acknowledgement of it, and even saying that to your significant other, speaking your mind that you're noticing it as well, and then making an effort to change things. So, like, for example, if you've been in a bit of a rut for 3 weeks because your life is it just takes over sometimes, and you do get comfortable and complacent, and like there's just no time to do those interesting things. And you've acknowledged it to yourself, and you look at your partner, and you have great eye contact with her, and you tickle the side of her arm, and you say, you know what? We've both been kind of lazy lately, and we're taking each other for granted, and I do not want to do that with you. So this weekend, I've hired a babysitter. or whatever. Maybe no babysitters needed, but this weekend I'm taking you somewhere special. So at 6 o'clock, be ready. Just something simple like that. Like just the fact that you've said, this is happening, I acknowledge it, and I want to do something about it, that's absolutely amazing.
So once again, it all comes down to open communication.
Oh my God, yes. And I'm learning that even more, right? Like it's just, I am in a marriage. I have a child, and I'm still learning these things. And like transparent communication that is ego-free is what will always protect you in a relationship. Unspoken things or being defensive when your partner states something that they're feeling or thinking is not helpful to a relationship. And that's hard to learn and practice, because I think most people are very sensitive when it comes to making their partners happy. And most often they may know that they are becoming complacent, and that is hard to hear from the other person, even when the other person is just trying to acknowledge it so that things can change. So I think it becomes very challenging later on, but the more open you can be and the more you can constantly communicate about it, the better.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then take action. So communication is great, but if there's no action afterwards from both sides, then it's not going to go anywhere.
Gotcha. I hear. I love all this. I don't know. Like I said, I just love relationships and all that, how they start. Just I do writing when I'm not podcasting, short films and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I would say 98% of my scripts, can't talk. They all involve relationships.
That's why you're a writer.
Exactly. That's and I use the term writer very loosely. Okay.
Okay.
I put words on paper sometimes, and it makes sense sometimes.
Me too.
But yeah, I just love writing about relationships, how they start, where they go, even sometimes when they end, just because I'm just very fascinated with it. So
me too. I'm on the same page as you when it comes to that. It's all really interesting, and all of it's just to figure out yourself, right? You're interested in it because you want to figure it out for you. But I think it is especially if you're in a relationship, it's an incredible thing to be passionate about, because at least for your own relationship, you'll always continue to want to discover and improve and make what you have the best it can possibly be. That's good news for your partner.
Mm-hmm. And you also you host a podcast?
I do, called Ask Women.
And is that something where people can, hey, I have questions, and you just answer questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Yes, they can write into ask@askwomenpodcast.com. We answer them on the air. Kind of backlog now on our questions.
No.
We have a lot of questions coming in, so but I still try to go through the new ones and just pick out really interesting subject lines and then put them onto our show. But yeah, it's a great podcast. We have every kind of person on there. We have celebrities, non-celebrities. We really just try to get into the nitty-gritty of what women want on that show in all scenarios. So our goal is to help men become better men, become more educated, understand women, and get what they want without being a douchebag.
That is very important.
Yes.
I just feel like there are so many douches out in the world.
Oh my God, yes. And you are not one of them.
Well,
Definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't know. Yeah. And so is there a really odd question that somebody's asked you that you're just like, I don't want to tackle this, or
I will say there are things that like toy around with my morals sometimes.
Gotcha.
That I get asked. So like, somebody will write to me and say, I'm in a very unhappy marriage, and I've got this scenario going on. How do I attract this girl? Mm-hmm. And it's very challenging for me to answer that question, but right. And not impose my own views. And so typically for that, I will say, most likely, if you are trying to attract somebody else, the situation that's happening at home is going to be weighing on you in some way. So either it's not going to let you connect properly, so, like something. So that I advise them that they first have to deal with that situation. If they deal with that situation first. But if you don't want to deal with that situation, and you don't even want me to mention it, then I will give you this advice on what to potentially do. But just know that the situation at home may be heavily affecting your situation with this woman.
Right. Yeah,
I would, trying to attract.
I commend you. I wouldn't be able to know what to say to that. I'd be like,
it's hard. Yeah. I'd be like, you're a jerk. That's really what I'm thinking is like, you're a horrible person. I'm not going to help you. But at the same time, they're coming to me for advice. So I'm going to impose a little bit of my view on this, right, and maybe say to myself, I don't know the whole story, so I'm going to advise as best as possible.
There we go. And so what I'd like to do now is I want to give you the floor to pitch, plug anything you want. This is going to be your podcast for the next 30 seconds or a minute. Take as long as you want. I don't, it's up to you.
No, I'll be quick. If anybody wants to check out more information of the information that I provide to people, it's winggirlmethod.com. That's my website for men. But also on that site, there is a link to my information for women. And the program that I've created for women is called That's Not How Men Work, which is based on all the information that I've learned about men over the past 13 years. And I've had that information not only help me understand men better, but now I've also helped thousands of women have a better understanding of where men are coming from and how they actually work. So winggirlmethod.com for awesome free information on what women want and how to get them, and also a link to my woman's site for That's Not How Men Work.
There we go. And so I have to ask you.
Yeah.
The whole premise of Casting for Two is every episode is a first date. So how do you think this episode went?
I think we had a good first date.
There we go. There you all heard it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I would
connected.
Love. Yes, I would love to chat with you more on this over a drink, but then I'd be afraid of your husband and I'd get scared and I'd run out the door.
Well, you don't have to be afraid of him anymore. It's all good. You're taken, I'm taken.
There we go.
We can have that.
We can bring our spouses along. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Well, but I think it was a successful first date. First meeting, we connected. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm happy to hear that, and I want everyone to listen to your advice and keep doing what you're doing, because I think you're doing a great job. And yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. And so whenever you want to come back on, just let me know, okay? Just say the word.
Okay. I would love that. Yeah, I would definitely love that. It's been nice chatting with you.
You too.
You make this very easy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I try. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Okay, yes, you too.
And try to get some sleep.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.